So, very good. I hope from today I will be regular in this class. After tomorrow I will Ujjain. From there I will be able to continue the class. Okay, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10. So, chapter 10, opulence, devotee job. But before that, Krishna is telling about himself. Who is he? So 8 to 11 verse, Gita, Chatushloki Gita. Here Sambandha with a present. So we read 8 verses last week. Krishna is saying about himself that Krishna is the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Aham Sarvasvata. Everything emanates from him. Matta Sarvam Pravartati. The wise who perfectly know this engage in devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Samandha and Avidya. If you know Krishna, they will worship Krishna with all their hearts. So now we'll read from text 9. And by worshipping, what will get? Matchitta madgata prana vadhanta parasparam kathayanta samaknitam tushyanti charavanti. Matchitta, their minds fully engaged in me. Your devotees, their mind fully engaged in me. Now always this question comes, how we can always remember Krishna? Their minds fully engaged in me. How? Previous verses, when serve Krishna. And madgata prana. First, their minds fully engaged, but when this is concentrated more, till madgata prana, their lives devoted to me. Primary is service, then fully engaged, and when fully engaged, they cannot survive without service. Devoted to me. And they have nothing to discuss other than Krishna. Bodhayanta parasparam. Bodhayanta parasparam, among themselves the preaching. The preaching. Bodhayantaha, preaching. If you love someone, naturally you will try to speak about him. Parasparam, among themselves, kathayantaha, talking. Cha, also mam, about me. Nityam, perpetually, continuously, always. And by talking, they tushyanti, tishta, become pleased. Not only pleased, also ramanti, enjoy transcendental bliss. Tushyanti and ramanti. Tushyanti means become pleased. Ramanti means enjoy transcendental bliss also. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. There is a song written by Narottam Das Thakur, glorification of Vaishnavas. At the end of that song, Bhakti Narottam Das says, Vaishnava Sange temon anandita anukshan. In the association of devotee, always pleasure, anandita anukshan. Why? Sadahoy Krishna prasang. Vaishnava Sange temon anandito anukshan. Sadahoy Krishna paro sanga. Sadahoy Krishna parasam. Everybody want bliss, happy. How? How you can get it? By discussing about it. So that where you can get? In the association with devotees. Very nice parts, huh? Very powerful parts. Yeah, they drive great satisfaction and bliss. How? By enlightening one another and conversing about it. The devotee always in transcendental bliss by discussing Krishna Katha with them. Prabhupada said, unfortunately, rascal, they think only you can get pleasure in discussing in Rash Leela. No, Krishna's every Leela is transcendental. The discussion of Bhagavad Gita also like that. Pure devotees whose characteristics are mentioned here engaged themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of the pure devotees are described in this verse specifically. Devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing him with other devotees. Are you not getting enjoyment by reading this? Wow, Bhagavad Gita is so relishable. By reading, we are getting pleasure. So nice, Prabhupada. You can see Prabhupada is mad at practitioner. We want to compromise, discussing, initially youth preachings. Oh, we should not introduce Hare Krishna Mahamantra initially. Prabhupada is not this such type of lecture. No, I'll not introduce in first class Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Before starting class, he started Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We should learn the technique of Srila Prabhupada. After 6 sessions, 7 sessions, want to introduce Krishna. But how Prabhupada introduced? Prabhupada introduced before starting 6 sessions, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then to join this session. Prabhupada has great confidence. Why should hide Krishna and Krishna's name? In the preliminary stage of devotional service, they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself. And in the mature stage, they actually situate in the love of God. So another nice thing, Prabhupada said, preliminary stage, they love in service. So don't hesitate to engage someone in service. No. You will engage service, next day will not come. No. Engage in service. Prabhupada is telling, in the preliminary stage of devotional service, they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself. And in the mature stage, they actually situated in love of God. Once situated in the transcendental position, they can relish the highest perfection, which is exhibited by the Lord in his abode. I am reading again. Once situated in transcendental position, they can relish the highest perfection, which is exhibited in the Lord in his abode. That means Jivan Mukti. When he understands his constitutional position, he engages in service. After going to Golok Vrindavan, whatever he supposed to do, he starts here. That is called Jivan Mukti. Rupa Goswami wrote in Bhakti Prema Swami. Yajasya Harer Dasya Karmana Manashagira Nikhileshu Avastashu Jivan Mukta Shaucha. Lord Chaitanya likens transcendental devotional service to the sowing of a seed in the heart of living entity. This, if you want to read completely, study Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 19, with Rupa Goswami's discussion. Brahmanda Bhramite Kono Bhagavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasad by Bhakti Lata Bij. And how the bees will fructify? There Prabhupada is writing. Lord Chaitanya likens transcendental devotional service to the sowing of a seed in the heart of the living. Service is sowing of the seed. There are innumerable living entities traveling throughout the different planets of the universe, and out of them there are a few who are fortunate enough to meet a pure devotee and get the chance to understand devotional service. Brahmanda Bhramite Kono Bhagavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasada Bhakti Yoga. This devotional service is just like a seed. What is seed? Devotional service is seed. And if it is sown in the heart of the living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, that seed fructifies. I want to clarify again. This seed is Hare Krishna Muhammad. We told normally we say like this. Guru will give this seed, Hare Krishna Muhammad. But Prabhupada is saying seed is service. And Hare Krishna Muhammad is pouring water. I'm reading again. This devotional service, what Prabhupada mentioned before, is just like a seed. And if it is shown in the heart of living entity, what does it mean? That service he should do from his heart, not by force. And if he goes on hearing and chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, that the seed fructifies. Here Prabhupada is not telling Hare Krishna Muhammad is seed. Hare Krishna Muhammad will fructify the seed. That means that service will turn into a tree. Seed is service, and seed when fructifies, it is a big service. Just as a seed of a tree fructifies with regular water, the spiritual plant of devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering of the material universe and enters into the Brahmajyoti effulgence in the spiritual sky. There, Chaitanya Chaitanya said, Upojiya Bari Shakha, Brahmando Vedi Jai, Biroja Brahmando Vedi, Parabom Pai, Tobe Jai Taru Pore, Golok Vrindavan, Krishna Charan Kalpavikhe Kore Arohan. And after reaching there, Mali will serve water, continue water, and chanting Hare Krishna continue. The spiritual plant of devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering Brahmanda Vedija of the material universe and enters into the Brahmajyoti effulgence in the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky, also that plant grows more and more until it reaches highest planet, which is called Golok Vrindavan, the supreme planet of Krishna. Tobe jai tadupori Golok Vrindavan, Krishna Charan Kalpa Vriksha Kore Arohan. Ultimately, the plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rests there. Gradually, as a plant grows fruits and flowers, that plant of devotional service also produces fruits. And watering process in the form of chanting and hearing goes on continuously, non-stop. This plant of devotional service is fully described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhurila chapter 19. It is explained there. I will see more like it. It is not in the beginning of this chapter, in the middle. Before, how I met Goswami met and Prayag. Then in Prayag, Dashashamad Ghat, 10 days, he sat down Dashashamad Ghat in front of the Radha Bindu Madhav. Bindu Madhav. Bindu Madhav, yes, Bindu Madhav. Yeah. It is explained there that when the complete plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna, of the Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in love of God. Then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with the Supreme Lord, just as a fish cannot live without water. In such a state, the devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with the Supreme Lord. When you put a rod in the iron, it turns into iron. When someone is engaged in Krishna service, automatically transcendental qualities will radiate, transmit. The Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narrations about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to devotees, as stated in the Bhagavatam itself. Jat Vaishnavanam Priyam. In the last canto, 12th canto, this is very dear to the devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Jat Vaishnavanam Priyam. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam. Srimad Bhagavat Puran, Amal, no mal, no that. That is why Vaishnavanam Priyam. Mal, dirty thing, material desire. Those who have no material desire, only they can relish sadhana. But those who have material desire, they should also read Bhagavatam. And those who have reached Golok Vrindavan, they should also read Srimad Bhagavatam. It's for everybody. Devotee, practicing devotee, non-devotee, for everybody. But the way healthy person can relish the test. Unhealthy person may not relish that much, but it will cure the disease. In this narration, there is nothing about material activities. In this narration, in Bhagavatam, there is nothing about material activities, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation. And which religion? They are called kapat. That is why Acharya said, পৃথিবীতে ধর্ম নামে যত কিছু চলে. Means in dharma, this material, in পৃথিবী, in dharma, in the name of dharma, material activities, economic development, sense gratification, liberation. But পৃথিবীতে ধর্ম নামে যত কিছু চলে, ভাগবত কহে তাহা পরিপূর্ণ ছলে. Again, Srimad Bhagavatam, all are cheating. Srimad Bhagavatam as the only narration in which the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotees is fully described. Purva is glorifying Bhagavad in Bhagavad Gita. Why? In connection with this 9th verse. Bodhayanta Parashvaram. Thus, the realized souls in Krishna consciousness take continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literatures, just as a young boy and girl take pleasure in association. Wow. Thus, the realized soul in Krishna consciousness take continual pleasure in hearing and substantial literature, just as young boy and girl take pleasure in association. Bhagavad is so sweet. Because there's so many devotees have given up their life just simply by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Teshang shatatu yuktanang bhajatang pritipurvakam dadami buddhijagam tam janamam bhujanti. Tesham, unto them. Unto them, whom? Those who are always engaging in Krishna's service, and due to service, they're relishing each other by service and discussing about Krishna. For them, Tesham, unto them, Shatata Yuktanam, those who are always engaged, Bhajatam Pritipurvakam, Bhajatam in rendering devotional service, Pritipurvakam, loving ecstasy. Dadami Buddhijagam, I give real intelligence. What is real intelligence? Tam, that. Janamam Bhajantite, by which they can come unto me. Jano, by which means that buddhi job, intelligence, Krishna. By that buddhi job, they can go to Krishna. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. In this verse, the word Buddhi Yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter, the Lord instructing Arjuna said that he had spoken to him of many things, and that he would instruct him in the way of Buddhi Yoga. Now, Buddhi Yoga is explained. Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. Buddhi Yoga means action in Krishna consciousness. Not Buddhi only until no activity. No. Buddhi Yoga means action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence. And yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of entanglement of this material world. Real Buddhi. The ultimate goal of progress in Krishna. The people do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and the bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna. And when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life, but in addiction to the fruits of activities, he is acting in karma yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in material speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Sometimes same, sometimes little difference. Here, normally Prabhupada use all are one Karma Yoga in real intelligence. Bhakti actually real Karma Yoga. Bhakti actually real Jnana Yoga, Buddhi Yoga. But normally when it separate, there is little difference. What is Karma Yoga? When person knows the goal of life, but in addiction to the fruits of activities, he is acting is Karma Yoga. The same one, what is Jnana Yoga? When he knows that the goal of life is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in mental speculation to understand Krishna, he is acting in Jnana Yoga. And when he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely, in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is acting in Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, which is complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization, but if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. So we should not worry about, oh, I am not an intelligent person, I don't know Sanskrit, I cannot pronounce Sanskrit verse, Bhagavatam, I have not read Vedas. Don't worry. Here Prabhupada is saying, if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, again reading from here, a person may be a bona fide spiritual master, a person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization. Normally comes from spiritual master organization. But if he is still not enlightened enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. Sometimes question may come. We are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If at the time of death we cannot remember Krishna, then Krishna will come to remind us. We should not do it. The qualification is that a person always engages himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kinds of service. All kinds of service. No, I like on the preaching service, youth preaching. No, all kinds of service. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. Here Prabhupada is stating, some sort of work for Krishna. Some devotee, they join, they don't want to do service. But Prabhupada is stating, at least some sort of work for Krishna. No, I'll only read scripture. It's good, but do some, by reading books, do some practical service. And that work should be with love. Oh, authority has given out of pressure. Okay, do out of pressure, but try to do out of love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to it. Very nice. So nice, so sweet, Prabhupada's part. Okay, Orko theory, you are from where?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Maharaj, I'm from IOI Fidam Mayapur.
What is the question?
My question is that, Maharaj, how can I take the name of Krishna out of love instead of out of need? How can I chant Bhajatam Priti Purvaka if you give some?
You gradually come. If love develops, artificially you cannot develop. You can see materially also, when love develops, when you do something, service, you have some good friend, because you have exchanged so much services. Whom do you love most? Your mother. Why? Mother served a lot for you. So if you serve Krishna, as mother serves the child, all child love Krishna, mother. The same way, if you love, if you serve Krishna, so will develop love of God.
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Maharaj, I want to express my gratitude, like how in Rath Yatra, Your Holiness have conducted in 34 districts and I can practically see the seeds of devotional service were impregnated in more than 1 lakh devotees, like, and also through your arrangements like Deepas in Indore and you uh, focus on devotional services that more and more devotional service. So I just glad you want to express that you are still and still will engage more and more devotees in devotional service.
Thank you. Actually, it is our pleasure that Krishna has allowed us to do that of service. So by mercy of Krishna, we did so many places Rath Yatra. So if I would have not come to ISKCON, he was in a position of a president or sannyasi, who would have listened to me? Krishna put me that type of situation, allow me to serve. He give me that position to serve. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Okay, Gulshan.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for such a wonderful session. Maharaj, my question is that I want to know the actual definition of transcendental loving service, because sometimes we compare service one with another.
Transcendental means a loving service, service out of love. And transcendental means this, not service in this material world. So, out of love, see, one mother serves her child out of love. Why? Because she thinks it is a part of my body. When we think that Krishna, we are part of Krishna, if we really understand, then out of love we serve. And we should not worry about that. The goal of loving service. And we cannot expect the first day we should do that. But at least we are getting some sort of joy. If we continue, one day we will reach that. We should have what is called patience for that. Asha Baddha, hope against hope. We should have this desire, but at the same time we should have patience.
Maharaj, how to free from comparing service? Like we see bird spring service is more qualified service than other service.
When our by service, when heart will purify, then we'll, without heart purifying, how can we go that distance? Only purify, then we will compare. But this comparison, we are not yet pure enough. There is a comparison. We should pure enough, serve more with great humility. Gaurangi Bharadwaj.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, brother. My question is, here Prabhupada clearly stated that Buddhi Yoga means Bhakti Yoga. So, Buddhi Yoga means Bhakti Yoga. So, many times we see that this word is coming Buddhi Yoga. So, should we consider that this is clearly Bhakti Yoga? Because many times devotees ask, what is the meaning of Buddhi Yoga exactly? So, should we say
Buddhism means Bhakti. Always Buddhism means Bhakti. But sometimes Karma Yoga is Karma Yoga. Sometimes Gyan Yoga is Gyan Yoga. But Prabhupada, the maximum place, one means all are actually Bhakti Yoga. Real Karma Yoga means Bhakti Yoga. Real Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. But sometimes Gyan Yoga and Karma Yoga little bit difference. But Buddhism is always Bhakti Yoga. There is no difference.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Namrashita.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Tanvat Pranam Maharaj. We were waiting for you, but it just, your program got cancelled and broke our hearts. So, Maharaj, waiting for you. Maharaj, I wanted to ask the question actually from the last verses. I'm not able to understand. At one point, in the sixth verse, it is written that from Brahma comes Rudra. in the sixth verse. And then in the eighth verse, it is written that Shiva was born from the forehead of the Supreme Lord. So Rudra or Shiva, coming from Brahma also, coming from Supreme Lord also.
So, you say, you have made this house, and if you show an engineer, labor, he have made this house. Who is it? Both is right or wrong? When the owner of the house, my mother, this lady has made this house, and sometimes this engineer has made this house. Both are right or wrong? Both are right. In the same way, originally Shiv came from Krishna, but when in the past times, then he came from the forehead of Brahma. He is not creator. Krishna came from Jashoda mother, and it doesn't mean Jashoda the creator of Krishna.
Yes.
Nilambari Mataji?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Shri Prabhupada Jai Maharaj. Maharaj, you sang one song that is Vaishnav Sangete Mon Anandita Hoy.
Sadahaya Krishna Parasam.
From where you got this song?
Thakur Vaishnav Gana. I have first line. That line is like তীর্থ জল পবিত্র গুণে লিখিয়াছে পুরাণে সেসব ভক্তির প্রবঞ্চন ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণবগণ, I think like that. ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণবগণ করিয়ে
So if I search Vaishnav songs, then I'll get it, right?
Vaishnav song
Book. Okay. And one more thing, you said.
দাস কান্দে হিয়া ধৈর্য নাই বান্ধে মোর দশা কেন হইল ভঙ্গ.
Okay, Maharaj. And once you said healthy person and likes, an unhealthy person doesn't relish. So
like if you are diabetic, can you relish sweet? You jaundice, can you relish sweet? A healthy person can relish sweet. A sick person, food, he does not like to eat. But healthy person like to eat up to neck.
So it's not the connected with spiritual health, spiritually healthy.
Yes, spiritual health also. When is spiritually healthy, then we relish by serving. But spiritually not healthy, why he has given me this service? Okay, I have to do. Then if he does in such a, still gradually he'll be. When cured, then he'll relish.
Okay, Maharaj, thank you.
Practicing a state and perfect justice. Okay, Amit Rudransh.
हरे कृष्ण महाराज, प्रणाम महाराज। जब आप पढ़ रहे थे 10th वर्स, तो उसमें मैं भी पढ़ रहा था भगवद गीता में, तो उसमें लिखा है महाराज, जब मनुष्य लक्ष्य को जानता है किंतु कर्म फल में लिप्त रहता है तो वह कर्मयोगी होता है। यह जानते हुए कि लक्ष्य क्या है, जब कोई कृष्ण को समझने के लिए मानसिक चिंतन का सहारा लेता है तो वह ज्ञान योग में लीन हो जाता है। तो महाराज जैसे हम लोग अगर मैं जैसे फिजिक्स पढ़ा तो मैं उसमें बेसिस पे जाना चाहता हूँ, मैं उस फॉर्मूला को समझना चाहता हूँ कि वो कहाँ से आए। तो क्या भगवान को जानना, क्या ज्ञान योग से भगवान को प्राप्त नहीं किया जा सकता महाराज?
हाँ, जब पूरे
क्योंकि अगर भगवान को जानेंगे तो और बेहतर तरीके,
जब पूरे जान लिया तो वो स्तर में ज्ञान योग है। जब पूरे जान लिया तो और प्रेम से सेवा करता, वो ज्ञान योग भक्ति योग हो जाएगा। पहले स्तर में उसको ज्ञान योग में रहेगा, बाद में वो भक्ति योग है, वही ज्ञान योग है, भक्ति योग में बाद में हो जाएगा। जिस तरह मानो तुम अभी भक्त है, बोला कृष्ण भगवान, अभी तुम जो भक्त हो उसकी इस तरह बात बोलना चाहिए। कोई जाके आके बोले प्रभुपाद आप जानते हो क्या कृष्ण भगवान, बोलोगे इस तरह बात प्रभुपाद को? उनको नहीं बोलना चाहिए, दूसरे को बोलो। जिस तरह हम 2 दिन पहले, 2-3 हफ्ते पहले सुन रहा था, तो गौर गोविंद महाराज, उन्होंने प्रभुपाद को मिलने का, मैं स्वामी जी से मिलना चाहता हूँ, प्रभुपाद को पूछा, बोले क्यों? बोले वो चैतन्य महाप्रभु का भक्त है। वो प्रभुपाद ने कहा चैतन्य महाप्रभु भक्त है? किसने कहा? वो चैतन्य महाप्रभु तो भक्त, या चैतन्य महाप्रभु को भगवान कृष्ण मानते हैं। बोले नहीं नहीं, चैतन्य महाप्रभु तो भक्त है। तो प्रभुपाद क्या इस सब समझने की कोशिश की, लेकिन जब देखा जो ये लड़का वो पहले समझ लिया है, सबको उनके समझाना जरूरत है क्या? तो वो भी जिसको समझाओगे ये लेवल है। जिस तरह हम बोला चैतन्य महाप्रभु भक्त है, वो बात सही है, लेकिन जब जो समझ ले चैतन्य महाप्रभु स्वयं कृष्ण है, तब और बात उनका समझाना जरूरत नहीं। थैंक यू वेरी मच शिल प्रभुपाद। काल
थैंक यू महाराज, हरे कृष्णा।
शिल प्रभुपाद की भगवत गीता से